Kobe Bryant said when he sucked at basketball, his dad said this to him and it changed everything. And I wanted to share it with everyone because sometimes we struggle as a wrestling parent to try to do better. So he played an entire season in some league in Philadelphia, and he said he played the entire game for an entire year and didn't score 1 point. And his dad was like a famous basketball player in this league. So was his uncle. And he said it was very difficult. But his dad at the end of the year said, "Son, I don't care if you ever score a point in basketball. I love you no matter what." And he goes, and that was important to him because it gave him permission to fail. Because there was no longer any pressure from the parent or pressure that he put on himself to try to prove himself to his parents, because he's like, my parents literally don't care. And I think that's very important. My dad took that approach to us too. He never wrestled, which was kind of a good thing. Sometimes I think being a second generation wrestler can be difficult because, there's a little expectation there that we should do what dad did, or whatever. So, that's something that's important to point out to your kids. If they are failing and they are struggling, is just to let them know that, what, my life doesn't change. Our relationship doesn't change. I really don't care if you are a successful wrestler or not. It doesn't matter to me. I want what you want. I'm here to support you. And, also let them know that it is a long-term vision sometimes. Kobe Bryant said he went a few years where he still sucked, and then he finally hit his new stride. My own son had a few years in wrestling where he lost 55% of his matches on over a 3-year time span. And then, he went on to be a very tremendous wrestler. He just had to mature and, hit that kind of maturity gap, and things started to click. So sometimes it is a long-term vision and long-term pathway. For most of it, it is. There's a few little kids that, youth, middle school kids who you see, they run the football for 2,000 yards. They win all the wrestling stuff. Okay. But for most of us, that's not the path that we're on. We're on a 5-year path, a 3-year path, maybe a 10-year path. So sometimes it's sitting them down and saying, there's always going to be a few outliers out there, but you're not one of those. And that's okay. Neither are all these other guys and girls. Now let's make a plan and move forward and do something with ourselves. So I wanted to share that. Good luck, guys.